Hey everybody, this is
Hi.
the Motivation Monday with by the time this is released, God willing, my wife, right now she's still my fiance, but
I feel like I'm too far
by the
ahead.
time this whole thing is released, she should be my wife. And
Yep.
this is my first female, and I feel it's only fitting to have I'm just gonna talk future tense my wife on for these Motivation Mondays. Been wanting her on for a while. And I'll start us off by saying that um, she's the luckiest girl in the world for marrying me. It's probably the best decision she's ever made in her life.
Golly.
No,
I am lucky.
no, but truth be told, without her in my life, I wouldn't have accomplished all the things that I've been able to accomplish, the good things, I'll say. And um, one of the things I think is important without getting too much into our personal lives because it's really nobody's business. But I think one of the things that I love so much about Kel is the uh, first time or the second time we ever hung out. Um, she had great compassion for my grandma she had Alzheimer's, and like the second date we had,
Yeah.
she came over and helped take care of my grandma who she didn't know at all. And that to me was because, yeah, I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend, honestly. I'd say that every time she knows this, but yeah, I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend at the time. And now, this is going to be released, and she's my wife. And then another thing, too, that this woman has helped me personally with big time is my communication. I feel has greatly improved, and she's also helped me become a more organized person. And I'm very appreciative of that because I can get a little disorganized, I can get a little messy, but um, Kel has taught me the importance of keeping a clean area and avoiding clutter, which I'm grateful for. And yeah, I can't, sing her praises enough, but to kind of, make this about you guys, I think finding the right person who you want to spend the rest of your life with is a very important decision. I come on these Motivation Mondays, I bring a bunch of people who, come from crazy backgrounds or have done this and done that. But at the end of the day, this woman right here is going to be the person who's most important to me in my whole life over any living human. Obviously God comes first, but I make this covenant with her before God. And the Bible says that a man should leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So I think one of the most important decisions you're going to make, whether you're a man or woman, is the man or woman you're going to marry. And I can honestly say wholeheartedly that Kelly has made me a better man in many different ways. And I think in a relationship, it is very important to make proper changes. And what I mean by proper changes is um, we, as humans, we all have things that we can improve on that will benefit ourselves and benefit other people. I'm not saying to be with somebody who's like, you can't hang out with them because I don't like them, or I don't like your friends because, name a dumb reason. But um, we all have things that we struggle with as human beings. And I can honestly say that Kel has helped me um, develop better as a man in many different ways. And the changes that she's helped me make um, in myself have been nothing but beneficial.
Yeah.
And one of
Wait,
the
no, I want to say
yeah,
something now.
okay.
You- I just was waiting for you to stop. Um, I think a really important thing and one of the most important decisions you can make in your life is choosing your life partner. And kind of what Khan was saying, like you don't have to like you don't have to change everything when you get into a relationship, but there's always aspects of yourself that can grow and you can better. And when you're with the right person, they can help you, kind of lock into those things that you need to change or maybe grow into. But I mean, I think we're a pretty good example. Like, we don't agree on everything by any means, but we are able to have a conversation around things we don't agree on. And I think that's really important. I mean, it'd be hard to find somebody that agrees with you on everything to a T, but I think it's very healthy to find somebody that helps you grow and be a better person, but also challenges you in that way where they don't agree with you on everything. And you could have disagreements as long as it remains respectful, but I think that's a big thing. You should find someone that challenges you, whether it's your thoughts or your actions. Um, but there's always growth, and Con and I definitely pick each other up really well. We've grown a lot as a couple, which is crazy to think about, like where we were at when we met. And then in just 2 days, we're gonna be married, which is a really wild thought.
Yeah, and one of the things too that I feel like every relationship gets tested, but another thing that comes to mind for me in the growth is when I was playing arena football in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was away from her for now. She's the best. She came and visited me 4 times, guys. It's a 13 and a half hour drive
I
from
think it was
Illinois
more than four
to
times,
Rapid City.
actually. I
Maybe
felt like I was up there like almost every other
shoot.
weekend.
Well, yeah,
We made that drive a lot.
but even with that being said, it was like I missed her so much. Because people, oh well, if we do long distance, guys, you could do long distance if the person is really important and you really love them. That shouldn't really matter. And I tell young couples that, hey, if this person's really you're really meant to be long distance, doesn't matter. You'll find your way back. And she was so supportive of that, of the football, of playing arena football in a different state, and she never made me change my goals or ambitions, and kind of just to take away from me a little bit. And what I wanted to bring into this Motivation Monday is um, she got a degree in criminal justice, correct?
Hmm.
And um, without name dropping anything, but she got into a job kind of in her field that had took a pretty big toll
Hmm.
on her, especially mental health wise. Just it was a very demanding job, and it ended up being something that not that she wasn't a good fit, but it took a toll on her, and she's in a field now that has nothing to do really with her degree, and she's doing really well in it. Um, if you could talk about that a little bit, Kel, like
Yeah.
just kind of pivoting from being in a field where you're like, yeah, I want to be here, and then finding um, success and more enjoyment, I would say, in your
Yeah.
your new job. If you could talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of kids, they go to college and they have an idea, and you make a really big decision and you're 17, 18 years old, kind of like the trajectory of your life. And like I got my undergrad in criminal justice, and then I went to get my master's in public administration, and I really wanted to do something in the criminal justice field. Which I ended up doing a little bit, but as I got older, the jobs that I was envisioning for myself, they just weren't cohesive with how I like to live my life. I'm very much about like I want to get off of work and I don't want to think about work. I don't want to be called in. I don't want nobody to bother me. And that just wasn't what a lot of the jobs were. I wanted to have a regular 9 to 5, whatever it is, and be able to enjoy my day. Like I wanted to still have a life outside of work.
Mm.
And that just wasn't exactly, I'm sure there's jobs out there, but there weren't a lot. So I was in this job for a little bit, and it was probably only a year and a half. I mean, I felt like I was there for 5 years, but it was a very difficult job, very mentally demanding. I would get threats from clients and stuff. It was kind of a mess, and I knew that I didn't want to be there anymore. And one thing that really went through my head is I felt almost disappointed in myself that I was straying away from a degree I spent, 4 or 5 years on. And I felt like disappointed in myself that I wasn't staying on that path. But when it came down to it, I just knew that I needed to be in a job where I could still have that life outside of it and I'm not like stressed waking up in the middle of the night thinking about my job. Um, so I did. I applied at a lot of jobs. I had several interviews, but the one that panned out was where I'm at now. I'm at an insurance company, which is nothing I would have ever seen for myself. But I can say I am so grateful to be there. I am so happy. I get off of work and I don't think about that place until I got to be there at 8 a.m. again. Um, I was actually blessed enough to be able to get a trip. Con and I went to Savannah, Georgia. Um, at the expense of my company, I won a something called a Superstar Award. So only a handful of people get to go, and I was lucky enough to get that my first year there. And it's just been such a transition. It was a little hard at first, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. They go to college, they think they want to teach or be a nurse or something like that. And then they get into it and they're like, this is not all what I envisioned. And a lot of people like stay in jobs because they've spent so much time on that. And I get it, you spend a lot of time and money, but at the end of the day, if that's not where you're happy, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Like I feel so much happier at the job I'm at, and I never would have thought that I would be there. And this probably isn't my forever job, but it's been really good. It was exactly what I needed in the time. And, to anybody who's out there struggling with like this kind of battle of like, I spent all this time and money, but I'm not doing it, or you feel guilty or you feel like embarrassed by it, you shouldn't. If you have a job, you could pay your bills, like whatever it may be, I think you should be proud of that. But it is, if a job or a different opportunity is better for you, then I say take it and run with it. And I'm super grateful for that. I was definitely like a stress ball. I would say, affected our relationship a little bit. I wasn't fun to be around, I'll say that. And now I'm just in a better place. And I got to take Con to Savannah and he got to golf while I was in some seminars. So I could say we both have benefited from this transition.
Yeah, and what I would say with that is, um, whether you have a degree in something, no degree, no matter the level of your education. Now, obviously, having a degree in something and getting that field is ideal. But if it doesn't work out, or if it's not something you envision, or it's not something that you're passionate or love to do, or like Kelly's situation, she was just uncomfortable in it, and she just wants to work, a kind of 9 to 5 type of job and just forget about her job, and live the rest of her life. No matter what it is, no matter where you see fit, just because you did get a degree in a certain field, and if you're miserable, it may be a little harder to get into
Mm-hmm.
a different area, but you can still get into a different area. There's been people who have achieved so much that I look up to with not even a high school diploma, that I know personally. So just because you have a specialization, that doesn't mean you can't transition to something else, or learn other skills, outside of the classroom, even to you know put yourself in a better situation, because kind of like the last Motivation Monday, guys, like, you have one life to live, right? Eventually, you're gonna die. I don't know how else to put it. It sounds morbid, but it's true. um, and I think, yeah, you can, uh, you could transition and do something else, and I believe God made everybody with a purpose, and all of our purposes look a lot different, so, um, yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add to this?
I'll end with this, kind of what Colin said. Whether it be a job or just where you think you should be at in life or whatever, just because you envision yourself at a certain point, like with a certain job, a certain amount in your bank account, you're living in a certain place, don't be disappointed because you're not where you thought you would be at when you thought about it in high school or whatever it was. It's okay. Life, takes turns, things change, things happen. And I'm not where I thought I would be when I thought about myself in high school, but that's not a bad thing at all. I don't know if Khan can say that, but it's just like you don't just because you're not where you thought you would be at doesn't mean it's not a disappointment, it's not an embarrassment, it's not anything like that. As long as you're happy and comfortable, always strive. You could always strive for something better, but I feel like there's just a lot of pressure. Like people say, oh, I thought I would be making this amount of money at this age. I thought I would be married and have kids at this age. Like, you're never too old to start anything.
Mm.
So just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you won't get there tomorrow or next week, next year. So I just think give yourself some grace, and if you have something you want to do, work towards it, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Everybody's got things going on, and if it's delayed, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So I will end with that.
Well said. Well said.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on this. Well,
You're welcome.